This podcast is brought to you by all of the sexy anime addicted fans out there. If you want to help out the podcast, it's Patreon, baby. Patreon.com/AAAPodcast is where it's at. You can also go to our website, AAAPodcast.com. Click that join button at the top. You help out the show. You get all the extra content. It's going to be spicy today because we have nothing but perverts on the show today. So, yeah. There you go. It's going to be a good one. So we're going to have a hentai episode for you afterwards. We just talked about a bunch of video games and a somewhat spicy book in the Hobby Addicts. So again, if you want to support the show, you're going to get a ton of extra content. AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon. And now, let's get this shit going.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into the podcast, episode 768 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast, and I'm here. I've got an orange monster. Oh, it's so smoky coming out of the top. It's delicious too. I am not alone today on the show. We have 4 anime addicts here today, including myself, including Pancake, who's sitting next to me, and she also has an orange monster. Let's just cheers.
Let's clack that shit up.
Clack.
Boop,
How's
bing.
Pancake doing?
I'm doing fucking fantastic because today I have my husband, Andrew, and my wife, Lady Emery, in the fucking house. Let's go! Woo! Hi guys, how are you?
Planting, tilling, harvesting, weeding. And I'm not talking about today's anime, I'm talking about Stardew Valley. But that's a Hobby Addicts. I'm Andrew. How's it going, folks?
I am also doing well. I do not have Monster. I have my non-alcoholic margarita. Mojito.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Getting
fancy.
different kind of spicy. Oh, and I see Andrew has water. A scotch.
Mizu.
No smoothie this week.
Oh,
no
Esca.
smoothie. I had that
Esca.
earlier today. So it's just good old Esca.
Yeah, he's licking the bottle, baby. Yeah. All right. Well, on the podcast today, first of all, follow us. Hey, we're on twitch.tv/AAAPodcast. We're on at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. You can find us everywhere. Chitin's keeping things running. Discord, AAADiscord.com. Want you to head over to the Discord still. Talk to us. Got some new people on there lately chatting it up, so we want to see you on there. I think it's usually a good time. And of course, if you want to get the Japan itinerary, which people still are asking about, you can hit me up on there and get that. People keep asking me, where are the bathhouses in Tokyo? I'm like, everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Throw a rock.
Throw a rock.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
I think they're just scared. I think there's a lot of thoughts that I have a tattoo. I can't go to one.
Yes,
and
it
you've
is.
been very good about telling them, no, it's okay. Let me guide you. Let me show you.
yes, it is scary. You've never seen so many tiny penises, okay?
Oh, no!
Oh, no! And
It's not the hentai episode
Oh,
yet.
okay, sorry. It's always hentai when Mitz is around, okay? So, on this episode today, it's BET, and I don't mean the television. We're going to be betting. We're going to review our bets that we made about 6 months ago and see what the outcome was of those bets. I'm sure I'm going to win all of them.
We got the pit boss here to keep us in line,
I have
though.
no idea. I don't even know what I bet. I have no fucking clue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, we got this taken care of. And I see we've got our mascot Kibi in the background. Gonna keep everyone.
Oh, yeah.
She's forcing herself on me.
Kibi,
Here.
why don't you come over here? Are you a good girl? You going to say hi? She's so low to the ground. You can't really...
That's okay. I just
yeah.
saw her for a brief moment, and I thought,
Yeah,
This
she
is our
was
mascot for today.
she was
Yeah.
getting pets, and she didn't like that I stopped, so she likes to shove her face in the crook of my arm, say,
yeah.
"Excuse me, ma'am."
She's not like Mako. If I pick her up, she'll just freak out. So, all right. We're also going to review Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which I'll just say it's different. So, so we'll get to that. It's not your normal anime. Do you guys have any special tidbits to share before we get started?
No, I think we
No.
should just.
I'm
get
bricked
into
up and
some-
ready.
Not
Yeah,
a
let's get into some big
tidbit.
news.
You're bricked up.
I'm bricked up and ready.
All right. Now there's
You and
Kibi
me
on camera.
both.
All right, me too. Yeah. I'm gonna tuck it back in. Let's go.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Listen, as a man, it's hard to be bricked up like this all the time. It's very uncomfortable and downright embarrassing in the gym. So, all right.
True.
It is, yeah. If you're ever doing the stationary bike and it's just rubbing a little too much, and you're like, all of a sudden, you're like, oh my God. Thank God there's no one next to me on this gym. I'm so fucking unhinged. All right. This is very disturbing, in my opinion. So, I didn't know about this, but next season, there is a full AI anime coming out called, what the hell is this fucking shit called? It's such a whiff. The fucking title. Twins Hinashima. Twins Hinashima. From director Benny Nakano, who's done absolutely nothing. From studio Kaka Technology Studio, which is probably based on the unbelievably negative comments about this shit that I put in the show notes for you guys at the bottom. It could end up being Kaka, but it is going to have a very prominent voice actor in it, Yurie Igoma, who is going to be doing the role of one of the main characters. That's one of the Oshinoko star characters, so very, very famous in Japan. The AI will be used in over 95% of the total animation cuts.
I don't like that.
It'll be broadcast nationally via Mainichi Broadcasting Systems starting March 29th. I don't know how this slipped under the radar for me, but I'm like, I had no idea that this was coming. They're at the point where they're announcing voice actors. This must have been announced months ago. But,
Oh, I'm looking at
This
the
is
PV for
wild.
this, and it definitely looks like AI.
How many fingers do they have? Quick, we need to
oh
count fingers.
Seven.
no. Cthulhu hands. Yeah, so the story is of the twins Hinashima, which revolves around Hinana and his sister Himari, who are both first-year students. After witnessing the rise of viral video stars on websites like TikTok, the two decide that they want to go try to become viral themselves, and they begin publishing videos online and suddenly gain access to a quote strange new world that flows alongside their reality. So I don't know what the hell that means, but.
What's with this Oshino no Ko, or whatever, creator and twins?
I don't think the Oshino co-creator had anything to do with this.
Oh, okay. I
No,
thought you
it's just
said
one
you
of the
did.
actors from it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the big actors. Yeah. Yurie Igoma, one of the main. Anyway, the question is, so this might come up again later in the episode, but I mean, how are we feeling about this? I don't. See, here's the thing. It's like they're already paying the animators so little, and now you just want to eliminate them completely, basically. And I assume the 5% that isn't AI is just to clean some stuff up.
Like the hands.
Jesus.
Probably.
It's just the hands. The
But-
other 5% is just fixing every hand shot.
It's just odd. Like it goes in opposite directions. So in the real world, and I'm just gonna say this, and you guys just I'd love to hear you weigh in. In the real world, when you hear AI taking people's jobs, it's like, oh, the people at McDonald's, they want $20 an hour, and McDonald's is like, well, we can't afford that, so they just put all the AI terminals in. They put all the everything's automated, whatever. This is the opposite. It's like you're already paying the animators like below a livable wage by a dramatic margin, and now you're just gonna stamp them out. Like you're like I know we're paying you 5 wooden nickels, a toenail, and a used condom to do this animation,
Well,
but now you're just gonna eliminate your ass because we don't even want to pay that much.
my other issue with it is they've trained a lot of AI with art without paying actual artists.
Correct.
And I have a huge problem with that. Anyway, and now we're stamping out actual artists in animation studios because we don't want to pay them with basically stolen art that they have been trained on and creating more content. So I just can't support this.
That's
From like
is that the primary reason?
Well, from a moral standpoint, yeah. I mean, it's already stolen artwork to train the bots, and then you're also stamping out people's careers on top of it. I can't get behind that.
Well, I mean, when you say that they train the bots, I hadn't even considered that as being a thing. So what you're saying is they could just feed some AI of 1,000 episodes of Dragon Ball, and then everything it draws looks like Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Wow.
Isn't that
Without
fucked
getting
up?
and without getting any rights, anything, it's just completely fed to them.
Well, I mean, I can't help it. Boy, this is a big conversation. We could talk about this for an hour, but it's going to be like racehorse breeding. They're going to be like, hi, Toriyama's estate, and whoever did, I don't fucking know. We'll go to the guy that did, we'll go to Watanabe with Bebop. How would you like to see the offspring, the breeding of Dragon Ball's art and Bebop's art blended?
Without paying any of the people that actually
Let
created
'em-
it.
Whatever, let them pay for it. But it's
They
what
won't.
I'm saying. Well, what I'm saying is that people. No, you got to look at it from a different perspective. What I'm saying, I'm not talking about them ripping off people. I'm saying people might tune in to see the love child of the art between Bebop and Dragon Ball blended, such that might possess value in the eyes of consumers, where they want to see what the fuck that looks like.
Well, I'm sure there's an artist out there that's been inspired by both of those creations that makes their own artwork and has their own stories that we won't ever see because we're feeding an AI bot.
I mean, I'm saying if they just stole Toriyama and Watanabe's art and just said, fuck it, like that's just lawsuits, right? For sure. But what I'm saying is that, like, there's maybe something else that could happen here where they advertise a show based on what inputs were used to make it. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and to sort of reorient back to the anime in question to some extent as well. So how I feel about this in general is like I don't. So, and I mean, let's be honest. We all use AI to some degree to do some things, right? This is effectively a sort of automation issue, but for the modern age, right? When automation came to the factories, a lot of people lost jobs, but there was a lot of quote unquote social safety nets that sort of allowed for reorientation of the workforce that is lost to automation. What we're seeing with AIs is we're not seeing that occur as well, on top of the rights issues. Now, AI, if this was like some project where one artist basically over the last 2 to 5 years essentially did all of this artwork and said, I'm going to use AI to sort of make the ideas because to make my life easier, to make it quick. Sure, go for it. You want to make a YouTube channel dedicated to doing that? Perfect. I'm super okay with that. Make your money through ad revenue on YouTube doing that. The issue becomes where you're starting to use AI as the predominant force, right? And it's being legitimized by being aired on, I'm assuming this is TV, right?
Yes. Yep.
And you're getting legitimate voice. At least we're getting legitimate voice actors. That's like at least one thing. They're not AI voicing it either. But like if this was just a project where, you did all the, like you trained your own AI to do your work, so you didn't have to do as much of it. I think I'd also be more okay if they were using AI to help make the animators' lives a little bit easier on like cleanup work or like
backgrounds,
key frames.
The damned eyeballs, the eyes that torture them.
Drawing horses.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I saw the PV for this, as I mentioned earlier, and it looks like AI. It looks a little rough in a lot of places. And I'm more accepting when at least it's drawn by a person, because those imperfections add a little bit to it. But it feels like here it's just someone, I don't even know if I can say it's someone being lazy, but it just really feels like they're just cutting something out. And I don't know if they're going to do anything interesting with this concept on top of that using AI. So
Right.
I'm not exactly thrilled. And what season? It's coming out next season?
It's
March
coming out on
29th.
March 29th. Yeah, it's actually
So it's coming out for the spring season for impressions.
Yeah, it's
right?
going to be
We'll
an
probably-
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover it.
Yeah.
So
no,
we'll see.
I don't know how I feel about it because I think there is a place for AI, but I think this is very timely because with the Oscars being tonight, there's a lot of talk over this Best Picture for Adrian Brody's new film. I think it's called The Brutalist, and they used AI to cover the Hungarian lines to make them sound more Hungarian. And in a similar way, if you're using 95% of AI for total animation, one, you're likely using stolen art. Two, I will say the hair is uncanny. I looked quickly at the PV and the hair is doing something uncanny valley that I don't love. But also, like, then you're not just taking this away. Like, it no longer becomes an art form, in my opinion, because you're taking away the human aspect of it. I was listening to a podcast that broke down that AI, to a certain extent, what people want from AI, and this is maybe a little extreme. I'm more than willing to adjust my definition, but when you look at AI, people either want a friend or a slave. And in this case, this is the anime industry saying they want a slave.
An 85-pound cat girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, more often than not, it is someone looking for a slave. Because AI friends have existed for a lot longer to a much more limited capacity. A lot of the use of AI nowadays is not to do, little friends to help you out. It's more like, no, we just don't want to pay people fairly. We just want to get work for cheap and maximize
immediately.
profit.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. I even don't really like CG in animation. And I was actually scrolling last night, as you do, and I came across an old, I think it was Disney animation of like The Ugly Duckling, where the two ducks have all these eggs, and then one of them ends up being like a swan, and it goes through all of that. And I was just thinking to myself, there's just something so charming and so natural about how this animation looks compared to even animation now. And now we're adding another layer to that of AI, and we're just getting, I feel like, just more and more slop and more just like copy paste. Or even, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Shrek trailer where he's been like Disney-fied. He looks horrendous compared to the old Shrek. He's like all smoothed out. Everything just seems to be so samey now with animation as it is, and I feel like AI is just going to make that worse.
I have two comments, and then we can move on after you guys, if you guys have nothing else. My first comment is, I wonder if this is the anime industry in a way, kind of just saying, all right, we're just going to show you our cards. Like, they've obviously been very rough on the animators all along with the pay, and now they're just saying, you know what, we're not going to hide it anymore. We just didn't want to pay them to begin with, and now they're just going to not pay them. So that's my first thought, is that this is just kind of like the penultimate final rug pull, you know. My other thought is that if this actually isn't a disaster for this, of a production, and I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple shots in this trailer that look straight up Shinkai-like. The bicycles,
but even the still image of the bicycles look funky.
This water looks quite good. The landscape here, okay, but this is the first attempt, right? You know what I mean? What I'm concerned about is that I always was a proponent of reeling back anime. Let's consolidate the studios. Let's build talent in the studios and make fewer anime that look better and are better because you are not spreading your talent so thin. This is going to go the opposite direction, where they are just able to generate. I mean, you thought 250 anime a year was a lot. Let's try 2,500 anime a year. Like, you don't, a computer can just make an infinite number of this shit.
Yep.
Now you're gonna, and it's gonna be, and in some ways, it could end up getting to the point where anime is so mass produced that it just blends into a gray muck, and it just ends up being, I don't know, hard to watch and just minimally viable product type stuff.
Well, I
So
feel
that's
like
kind of what I
we've
get
already
worried about.
headed that direction with the sheer amount of anime we have. Like, there's so many anime. I'm just like, ugh, this feels like it's AI slop anyway.
Are there any pros to this?
Not unless they can flip it and they can use it for what we were talking about of doing the job of an editor in the same way that I know, for example, at my job, a lot of people like to use Copilot to take notes. So that's one less person to take notes. People can focus on the meeting. So unless they're willing to maybe flip it to help animators out, especially when they're coming close to deadlines, great. But to your point, I think it's going in the wrong direction. I think they're approaching AI completely wrong.
I have a prediction, and then I'm done with the topic. My prediction is that this is going to be very prolific within the next couple years, and the reason for that will be because whereas a lot of us complain about how animation and anime is very poor nowadays, like you get some that look good, but most of the time it's like the backgrounds don't move. You have like these frozen people reaching for library books in the library, and they never move. They just look like still images, and it's just lip flaps and this and that. We complain about that a lot because it looks bad, and we had a lot of that lately. This AI is going to dominate. It's going to have animation that is so much better than what we've been getting with humans in the last 5-6 years that nobody will ever want to go back once this gets fine-tuned a little bit. People will, they're going to like it because they're like, well, I understand that it's AI, but they'll get used to it eventually, and then they'll just say, well, I can't go back to watching still images all the time. That's what I think is going to be that's what I think is going to drive this to the point where it's universally accepted. That's my prediction. So.
I wonder what Miyazaki has to say about this.
Oh, he fucking hates it. He hates it. Anyway, we can move on.
I mean, he eventually came around on CG, but we probably should move on.
Yeah, we could yap about this all day.
All right, Lady Emery, what you got? Come on, girl.
Mine is happy news for me. This
Yay.
is a me news. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, first movie. It's going to premiere in Japan July 18th. I'm very, very excited for this. I think everyone knows that I stan Demon Slayer. There's not a whole lot more to it. If you want, you can go take a look at the PV out there. As soon as it comes here, I will likely go and see it. Some bittersweet news for me is one of my best friends is getting ready to move to Japan in April. Very excited for her, but very, very sad. So this is a way that we're connecting on it, is she's going to go and see this movie for both of our sakes, because she also is a big Demon Slayer fan. So I am very excited for her to get to see it right away in Japan. So that's my kind of a double whammy. You got some personal news for me, but mostly it's just this Demon Slayer movie. This will be the first of 3.
What's the story with the Infinity Castle? That's a pretty cool title.
It is the name of, it's essentially the final big boss's place is what I'd call it, the environment where the final battle is going down. So it is the Infinity Castle that Muzan controls and has access to, and all of the demons can filter into it. So the last we left off, being very careful, spoilers, is a certain amount of characters are getting dumped into the Infinity Castle, and a certain amount of them will be
Dead.
engaging in some good old-fashioned shonen fights. And yes, we may have some that live, some who die. You will have to go watch and find out.
It's very exciting for those Demon Slayer fans.
Are they going to take this movie that'll make $1 quadrillion in Japan and make it a whole season of anime?
I don't think so. They said that they were wrapping this up with 3 movies, but you never know. It makes them so much money. So I could also see them throwing it on Crunchyroll at some point and being like, all right, here's the movie. More revenue stream for them, but...
Yep, Demon Slayer is still very much, I'll say seeable, visible in Japan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. I have some sad news.
Well, you let me pick the topic for you, so
Yes.
ends up being sad.
It's been 1 year since Akira Toriyama's death,
no.
as of March 1st.
No.
No. The final Dragon Ball Daima anime episode also premiered on February 28th in Japan. The series finale concludes with the first anniversary of Toriyama's death on March 1st, 2024. Yeah, it is crazy. I can't believe he's been gone that long already.
Was that done by design, do you think? They literally said, we're going to end Dragon Ball Daima the exact day 1 year later that Toriyama passed. I mean, that can't be coincidence, right?
I can believe it, yeah.
Craziness.
The Japanese airing on Fuji TV ended at midnight, transitioning to March 1st, 2025, the same day that Toriyama passed away last year. So,
that's fucking
thank
crazy.
you, Toriyama, for everything.
Oh no, I feel sad
so
again.
Sad. I guess we should have switched spots there, But yeah.
That is, oh man. I hope we get more Dragon Ball. I hope it doesn't end up being CG
or AI.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant, AI. But yeah, okay. Yeah, that's sad. But I still want more Dragon. They're mark my words. They will not let Dragon Ball end. It makes too much money.
They'll just make an AI bot of Toriyama and have that thing spit out Dragon Ball ideas.
Regardless of what people said about Super's animation and all this, that shit made money. A lot of it. So,
isn't Super coming back?
I thought the manga, right?
Well, they had a chapter of the last chapter of the manga that had Toriyama's influence or whatever, ended with that was on the last episode we talked about it, with Goten and Trunks decide they want to become a superhero like Gohan, and then the chapter ended and it just said to be continued, and there's currently no plans to continue the story at all. So we'll see what happens with that, but they're not going to let it end. It might be 5 years from now, but somebody will pick it up. So, oh boy, wow, Lady Emery. This is the Lady Emery show today.
Yes. We are on your gondola. Take us forth.
Yes.
Welcome.
Sweet
I guess
boat
I'm
woman.
Canoeing. Yes. Let's do this. So, back in September, sometime the first weekend, was it September 1st? It might have been around September 1st. But 6 months ago, we did anime bets, and this is going to be our follow-up to those. And we're actually going to try and make some new ones. So if you didn't listen in, you can go, maybe go take a listen to it. But it's real simple. We made a long shot bet, a medium shot bet, and then a really easy bet. And we bet each other for various manga, doujin or hentai. Food was sometimes involved, and we have the results of that.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna rattle through them, and we can react to these.
Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna enjoy I'm gonna.
I'm sorry. You want it slow.
I want it good.
You want it nice and slow.
Yeah, I want it slow and gentle. Yeah.
Lube it up.
It's okay.
We'll go slow. We'll go slow for you.
Yeah.
We're going to start with pancakes bets. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Syrupy.
So Pancake believed that A Sign of Affection would get a season 2 announcement.
Oh,
and
that's a whiff.
Womp, womp,
womp. APC on the Discord. So reminder to everyone, if the hosts don't take each other's bets, you can make these bets on the Discord, and we have things on the line that we have to do. So APPC countered this, and there's a light novel for a manga that was on the line. And Pancake, do you want to tell us what happened?
It has not been announced, so it sounds like I'll have to.
You're gonna pull them out.
I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited. Feel these nipples.
I'm not pulling anything out. I have to read a manga or light novel
Just 'cause she has big titties.
for this loss. So
You have to read a light novel.
yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but you tell me.
We'll go back and take a look.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look. And then I'll read it and review it on a Hobby Addicts.
Yep.
Well, you do love reading things, so you'll enjoy.
I do.
That's not even like losing a bet. That's like someone's gonna recommend something to you that you'll probably like. That's such a kind bet. No one had to show their feet.
So.
Oh, someone better show their feet today.
some
I'm
of those
waiting.
bets.
Someone is going to show their feet. Come on, baby. All right, what else?
Some of those bets got redacted. So
Oh, yeah, well, somebody crashed out on the Discord and had to be removed.
yes.
As they say. I love that term, crashed out. It's so
His two
fucking
favorite terms right now are bricked up and crashed out.
funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just crashed.
And he likes to use bricked up when you're not supposed to use bricked up.
Oh, it only has to do with my penis. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Anyway,
all right,
next
all right.
bet.
What were the other bets?
The next bet that Pancake had was believing that
Oh,
MF
shit.
Ghost Season 2 would get a better mail score than Season 1. No one took her up on this, and Pancake would have been right. So
It was
Good job,
better.
everyone.
I did finish MF Go Season 2, and I can confirm it was slightly better.
Slightly.
Slightly better. But still not good. Still mid as fuck. It was math.
You know why MF Ghost didn't, crush it? It's because they didn't have the Initial D soundtrack behind it.
They didn't.
Where's all my sweet lover, game's not over.
Yeah. Come on, Andrew.
Anyway, I'm
It
pretty
was
sure that's why
also-
MF Ghost didn't go solidly.
Also, it missed a lot of the off the track relationship building that was so
Yeah.
good in Initial D.
And literally everything else that made Initial D good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations. So what does she get for that?
Nothing. Nobody took the
nothing,
bet.
'cause no one
Oh.
took it.
Womp
I'm still
womp.
going over.
I'm a
You
loser.
wanted it,
I do
you
want
wanted it nice and slow. So
yes.
yeah. So we're going over all of them. Then the next one was Pancake believed Mitsuki would rip his shirt off at some point live on the podcast within 6 months. I watched a lot of the Twitch streams or the YouTube streams after this to make sure, but I did not see a time when he did this. So Pancake would have been wrong. Pancake would have been wrong.
Does this count?
Don't. We're going to get taken down off of Twitch because
No,
your
we're
boobs
not.
are out.
Does that count? Did I just flip the bet?
No. It's too late. It's been over
it
6
didn't matter.
months.
No, and
shit.
no one took the bet anyway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that was a big waste of effort.
It was.
Oh, sorry.
But you did it.
I'm out of my fucking mind. I'm sorry. Oh, here come my bets.
and this one we did have stuff on the line.
Oh, this
and
is big. This is big.
This one's
big
a good
risky.
one for you.
This is big risky here.
Mitsuki believed Dragon Ball Daimyo would have a better score on Mouth than Dragon Ball Super, and I watched for weeks as this score slowly started to tank, but it is still better than Super. So I countered your bet with a review of a hentai of your choice, or ice cream on the line because I didn't have one that I could flip over to your side. So you win.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully for the next hentai episode, I will watch whatever one you want me to watch.
I already know which one we're going to have to watch.
It is a hentai? You have to
Yep.
watch a hentai? You will be,
I will watch a hentai.
I would like to announce, I have an announcement to make.
He's been talking about this for 2 weeks. The
So-
same hentai.
So I will say April 2023 was a very good month for hentai. 2 very good hentai came out in April 2023. One was Island of the Dead, which is a really fucked up and brutal tentacle anime. And the other one was everybody's new favorite, even though you haven't seen it yet. That would be Bonyu-chan, episode 3 and 4. Starring the all-star team at Studio T-Rex. Bonyu-chan means lactation girl.
Yes, you is milk.
That's right. Bonyu means breast milk, basically. So you will be watching Bonyu-chan episode 3. You don't have to watch all of it,
Okay.
but you might end up watching it all anyway.
Depending on how many
Okay.
bets you lose with Mitsugi.
That's
No,
true.
just because it's that good. And I can guarantee you this hentai will shock you. It will have better animation than most of the shit we watch. It will have better animation than Sakuna. Okay.
Oh my
Fantastic. That's the only bet I have on here.
Wait. Oh no. Because some of them are redacted.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay,
I will go back.
I made them count. I made that count.
Okay.
Okay, here's Emery's bets.
Yep. So we have one that is actually a to be determined soon. So I bet that Dandadan would be our AA's Anime of the Year at the Anime Oscars, and you countered this bet, and because the Anime Oscars are next week, I believe.
That's right. Stay tuned.
So, yeah. So I am actually putting this one on hold. Instead of nulling
Okay.
and voiding it, I want us to just wait one more week. We can always
Just put
approach
it in
this
the
on the
next.
Discord.
Put this on the next review of our bets.
Yeah. Easy
Well,
enough to do.
Let's be honest. It's going to be solo leveling or free AREN or Dawn to Dawn. And I don't know. What else could it be? I have no idea.
Delicious in Dungeon, right?
It could. That was, man, I loved Delicious in Dungeon. It was so good. It was delicious.
Oishi.
Oishin, eh? All right. Emery, what else we got?
So I believed that the Goku float this year would feature a young Son Goku in the Macy's Day Parade. I thought this would happen because, unfortunately, of Toriyama's death, and they did come out with a new float. Unfortunately, it was adult Goku, so Raggedy countered this bet, and we put kids' weeb outfits on the line, and so his kiddos were sent very adorable one-piece pajamas that they.
You sent him One Piece pajamas?
I sent the wee ones one piece pajamas. So Raggedy toddler is already sporting it, and then whenever the new weeb is born to us, they will have a onesie of One Piece characters in little chibi form.
That is a costly big girl bet right there. Wow.
Yeah.
What is a onesie? So what is a onesie pajama for a like 1-year-old cost?
I will go look these up and I will send these to you.
I'm not
during
asking
part
what
of our
you-
discussion.
Yeah, I'm not asking what you paid necessarily. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of curious in general. Is it like
So if
$50?
I, so for the weeb versions, I want to say that was closer to $20. If you wanted like creme de la creme, the best PJ onesies, they're the magnetic ones, and those are $40 a piece. But they are the best onesies because they are just you can just open them so easily for diaper changes. It's bing bang boom. They're made of like bamboo and
That's
they're
so
very
funny.
very soft.
As a probable future father, my boss told me he had one piece of advice for me. He said, button onesies always. And I was like, okay.
No, magnetic.
Magnetic. That's what I meant.
buttons.
That's what I meant. Magnetic onesies. That's what I meant.
Always.
That's
Always
funny.
with the magnets. It's
All
worth
right.
it's worth the cost. So yeah. These are zippers, but double zippers. If you have zippers, always double zippers.
All right. You got bets all over the place. Wow. Oh, this is
I
a pancake
know.
Emery
She is
bet.
the pit boss,
This is
right?
a pancake Emery bet. I got to get some epic
Yeah,
music playing for this.
I believed that Mappa Studios will be charged with a crime in the next 6 months, and I'm upset about this. I am upset about this because Crunchyroll had crimes, other studios had crimes. There was arson going on at certain studios. Where was my crime? Where was the crime with Mappa? So no, they did not.
Oh, no.
So we had manga on the line, so I will read for future hobby addicts manga of Pancake's choice.
You're
You will
losing
be
a-
reading. You will be reading
Oh, this is so good.
Onani Master.
Honey Master.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know what is that about.
This
Look it up.
this
Nope, don't spoil it. I want her unadulterated reaction for reading the synopsis live here today.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. I have some thoughts about Onani Master. So, first of all, I would love an Onani Master anime. There is a 90% chance that by the time you finish Onani Master, you will love it. So I'll just say that. I think it's
Yeah.
a very it's a very kind. This was a very. We'll see. But you'll never.
You'll never forget it.
You will never forget some of the shit that happens in this fucking manga.
Yep.
So, pretty crazy.
I read
Garrett?
this on an airplane.
It's short. Yeah, very
You
short.
read
It's-
this
it's-
on in front of
quite
other
good.
people.
Yeah.
Like, could have like peeked over your shoulder.
Man, I made the
I
mistake.
had to flip it away a couple times.
I made the mistake. Onani for the Twitch, Onani Master is spelled Onani.
Would you like to tell the Twitch what Onani Master and our listeners what Onani Master synopsis is?
Yep. Okay, so I pulled it up on my anime list, and 14-year-old Kakuru Kurosawa is an antisocial junior high school student who looks down on his classmates, but beneath his superiority complex is a hopeless young teenager who uses masturbation as a pastime. Using erotic thoughts of his female classmates as stimulus, he locks himself daily in a seldom used girl's bathroom at school to do his dirty deed. There's more to it. There's like bullying, daily life, and everything, but yeah. Well,
You'll like it by the end, is all I gotta say.
This is
Absolutely.
PG.
Oh man, this
is PG. This is not a.
This is a good
doujin.
fucking manga. This is
Nope,
and
not
what
a
is-
doujin.
And what does it have? Like an 8.2 on Mal?
Yeah. 8.4.
8.4. What? That. Wow, it's probably like in the top 50 all time. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
All right.
I actually really like that manga, so
Yeah,
I
she's
hope you
giving
do
a
too.
gift. Yeah, what a great premise.
Can't wait.
Close enough. It's number 83 in terms of popularity.
That's crazy though, for something so short and old. All right, okay. Wow, Emery, you lost a lot of bets. I gotta say, for the pit
I know,
boss.
for being a pit boss.
Yeah, let's hope you make some better bets this time
Well,
around.
you see, this is why she manages the bets.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, sorry, the Twitch has a better drop for you.
Oh my god.
I guess should have played that one. Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. So
Okay.
you'll go first, Mitz, with your new bets. And I know, Andrew, you did not put any bets on here. You can either help us come up with them, or you can just
Whip it out as they
pick up
come.
and yeah.
See, Lady Emery, I'll put it this way. As somebody who has a gambling addiction, I just want you to know that betting is something that I am very bad at. So I understand it. One of the reasons why I have not bet is because I know that I would unfortunately probably make bets that are so good that I would still bet against myself and lose. And thus, in the balance of power to keep things fair, I will remain a neutral party, or I will indulge in my gambling addiction. Either works for me.
I think Andrew was very fortunate to not be in Japan with us this last trip because
Oh my god.
we discovered. So
Andrew, my love, I found the best metal pusher game ever, and we spent a whole 6 hours playing it straight.
for three different days.
Honestly, I was thinking about the other day. I'm so glad I got stuck on claw machines, because I swear to God, if I had discovered metal games in Japan, I don't think you guys would have ever seen me.
No,
And
they're
I
too
didn't know
good.
they exist.
Now they have ones where you have where you have like a game card that keeps your data and you collect items and
You fill out a catalog,
digital game screen and you fill out like an item collection. It's insane.
and there's
bro.
daily like challenges and things.
It has dailies.
It's real
fucking
dangerous.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
I think we need to plan a family trip
We
to
should.
just go play metal
should.
games.
We should.
Look, my goal is for my 40th to go to Japan again, so we have 2
Cool.
years to work on that.
Andrew,
That's good
you're
timing.
almost 40?
Yeah, I'm turning 38 in a week from tomorrow.
I thought you were like closer to my age.
I'm old.
No wonder
I'm
I like
only-
you so much.
I'm
All right.
old, but I'm also very young looking.
You are.
Well, you know what they say.
So true.
So true.
Black don't crack, Asian don't raisin, and white people age like carved pumpkins.
Damn. That's harsh. Asians don't raisin.
That's what my friend told me.
What? The fuck? All right, let's get to these bets.
All right, Meats, take
do
it
it.
for us.
I wrote these very fast. I'm sorry, they're not very good.
Let's go
My
for
first
it.
bet
So,
that
yeah.
nobody will take is that a new Dragon Ball anime will not be announced in any capacity in the next 6 months. In other words, I lose this bet if they announce anything new. It could be a movie, it could be a series, it could be, but not a game, but like
OVA.
OVA even, which they don't really have hardly any of to begin with. But
Will not be announced.
if there's any new Dragon Ball anime content announced, doesn't have to air, it just has to be announced, then I lose.
I will take that bet.
Wow, you think they're gonna? Wow, I hope you're right. I hope
They
you're
will. I bet. Yeah, I bet that something will come up, especially with Toriyama being gone. Even if it's like a re-release
What do you
or
wanna
a
bet?
movie.
She's got nothing.
I will watch the hentai of your choice.
You already do that regularly.
I will owe you brunch.
It's all the same pool of money. That doesn't make any sense.
It's hard to make a bet with somebody you share
would-
like finances with.
I will propose the bet. You will watch all of Crest of the Stars and not complain a single time about anything in it.
Oh, that's hard. I complain a lot. Okay.
That's only
And
the first
One
season,
season.
right?
One
Just the first
season.
season. Andrew, you don't really like Crest of the Stars, do you? If I recall. Or you think it's mid, maybe?
I thought it was okay. Look, it's like Mossburger, Crest of the Stars.
Oh, no.
People love it. People think it's great. It's not for me, though.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe
Well,
at certain moments it might be for me. But,
And if-
you know,
And if Pancake wins, what's going the other way?
Yeah, what do you want to make me do? Yeah, think about that.
You.
Quickly.
I'm sorry. I'll come back to
Oh,
me.
we'll come back. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm making a note.
All right, think about that. The next bet is...
have him read a webtoon.
Oh, God.
He won't read.
I will read if I lose. I'm not going to lose this fucking bet. They're not going to announce. I guarantee they won't. Go ahead. I'll read a webtoon.
You have to read a dojin of mine and Emery's choice.
But it can't be like 1,000 pages. Can we have like a page
Oh,
limit?
no, it'd be
12 chapters
something
max.
reasonable. Okay.
Yep.
I'll take that. All right. The next bet is we will have at least one additional AI anime announced in the next 6 months. The release date doesn't matter, but it is a primarily AI anime. One additional.
What do you mean by primary? Like 50% AI, or are
More
you
than that.
like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
made. It's like the Kaka whatever one, the Hina whatever we just
So, like
talked about.
Hina.
Yeah, it's gonna. It
So-
has to be primarily almost.
So 51% or more.
no,
I would say probably, I would argue 70 to 80.
I was thinking more like 90% or more. Like this is an
Oh,
AI
you're making
anime.
it-
Humans did not really make it. It's just AI.
Oh, okay.
There will be one and more at least announced within the next 6 months. I believe that will happen. Anybody want to take that?
I think this one is actually more likely than your Dragon Ball one, funny enough. Like, I feel like your Dragon Ball one is very much a 50-50. This one feels more like, I think there's like a high chance that this happens also.
See,
So
I think
don't
the
know if
Dragon
you
Ball
count
one's
that
almost
bad.
impossible.
That's
And this-
interesting. I think that's more of a 50-50.
And I think this one is... This one's a 50-50. That's how I feel about it, but does anybody want this bet? If you don't want it, that's fine.
No, I'll take this one. I like what I got pwned to saying, that they'll never admit to how much of the show is made in AI, especially if this one tanks and fails. So maybe I'll get a sneaky win out of this one.
I would like to propose that if you win the bet, I will order for you food on the podcast of your choosing, DoorDash style, to a maximum cost limit of $20.
It has to be more than $20. It's very
More?
expensive now. Yep.
Well, hold on, no. The food itself is $20.
Okay, we're not including
Not
the
include-
tip
the
and
delivery
service.
costs.
Delivery, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Service.
I'm talking about like
I was thinking of like ice cream.
I was thinking I was thinking like a Dairy
want some
Queen
ice cream.
Blizzard, which clocks in at like $6.50, and after all the bullshit, it ends up being 18, which is just so
Yeah,
sad. By
that's
the way.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Pancake's like, order her a steak. Get Outback.
No. A $20 is still like a small item for food.
Yeah.
Like it's
Okay.
just, if
Okay.
you don't count the fees.
All right, and if I lose, am I reading more webtoons or what?
Do you want webtoons? Otherwise, I gave away weeb, tiny weeb outfits. I could do like a cute kerchief for Kibi, like a cute little new anime
Bandana?
kerchief. If we could, like a cute
She
little
is a bandana girl.
She does wear bandanas. I will accept.
You will accept?
I will accept.
And if you lose, oh, okay, we've already got what you lose.
Okay. My next bet is Solo Leveling Arise will be the highest rated anime for the entirety of 2025 on my anime list. It currently has like an 8.85. I'm
Is it
saying
the highest currently?
it has to be. I think it's narrowly ahead of Apothecary Diaries. So I am saying that nothing will beat Solo Leveling for the entire rest of the year. And I'll say of the movies too, or just in general.
I will take you on that bet.
Oh, you got Andrew to gamble.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, because, yeah, no, I'll take you on that bet. Yeah,
Interesting.
because spring is coming up, and actually, spring looks like trash. Summer's coming up, and summer actually looks really good compared to spring. Surprisingly,
that's interesting.
And there's some pretty strong shows in the summer. I think that they might surpass Solo Leveling. So I'm gonna take you on that bet. What do I have to do if I lose?
Come and visit.
Oh man, that's an expensive bet.
I have points.
Oh wow.
And if you lose, we have to go visit him.
Oh, you want to bet a trip?
I have points.
Okay, let's bet a trip. Put it on the board.
Are you serious?
Put it on the board.
This is such an exciting bet.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Oh.
That means we'll get to see you.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Lady Emery. That entire statement I made at the beginning was mostly not in jest.
All right. And my final bet, my last one.
Yep.
The new Watanabe anime Lazarus will not even come within half of a full point of Cowboy Bebop's rating on my anime list. Cowboy Bebop has like an 8.75, I think. So therefore I mean that Lazarus will not even end up with an 8.25 or higher. It will fall a half point or more short of Bebop. Because I don't
Passing on this one.
Because I think Watanabe is overrated. I think everything he's done since Bebop has been
Mid.
way less than Bebop.
Your mileage may vary depending on the topic of conversation, but I would say Bebop is probably his seminal work that stands out as being probably some of his best work still to this day. But I would say like a lot of his other stuff while lauded, may not come off to the same effect. But I'm not taking this bet because obviously people are so much harsher these days on anime, especially when compared to older ones.
If nobody wants it, that's fine. I didn't think I would
Still have the Discord.
I didn't think three whole people.
Discord?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Pancake. All right. You ready for your first bet, Pancake?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Would you like to read it?
Solo Leveling Season 2 will get a lower score than Season 1.
You already lost that bet. How can that? What are you doing? Solo Leveling Season 1 is nowhere near Season 2's rating.
On the podcast?
Oh, on the podcast.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I see.
that is. I follow.
Ooh.
That's nice and spicy. Okay.
We do have some strange irrational hatred of Solo Leveling on
Yep,
this show.
we sure do.
Yeah.
I
do.
don't think it's strange and irrational.
I mean,
It depends on who's running the episode.
I don't think
That's the gamble.
Here's the funny thing is that like I don't think Solo Leveling is any more or less well written than like in something like Demon Slayer, and we gave Demon Slayer got like 4 and 4.5. So, but
what
like
did season 1 get?
But Mason thinks Solo Leveling is like a 1 out of 5. so
Well,
it's
that's
like,
Mason.
Well,
No, but what did season 1 get for Solo Leveling? Just so we.
I gotta look it up. I'm looking it up for you.
So for the audience, and remember, audience, just as I'm vamping here so that Mitz can look up the answer. I just want you to know that you can go to the Discord. Join us in the Discord. Lots of fun things happen. Lady Emery is not only the pit boss on this podcast, she is the pit boss in the Discord, and she will hold you to task in the Discord. I don't go to that section because, as you can see, I am a big bettor, and that probably would ruin me. But in this particular case, she will hold you to task, and some fun stuff are made in a bet there. And Mitz, was that rating?
So Solo Leveling averaged to a 3 out of 5 on episode 730, where I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. Caroline gave it a 3.5, and Mason very consistently gave it a 1.5 out of 5.
So it is a toss-up for whoever ends up on that episode to review it, but I think that's a fun bet.
I will take this bet because season 2 of Solo Leveling is notably better than season 1. It's not even close.
Question of curiosity: what if it gets the same score?
I guess
Does that?
It's a push, right?
It's a
Well if it
push.
gets the same score?
push.
It's a push.
Push.
Okay, that's a push. Fair enough.
The pit boss has spoken. It's a push.
All right. What are we betting?
What would you like to wager?
Oh my god,
Bald
it's hard to
man.
bet your wife. I would say that.
Are there any chores either of you two do that the other one
that's a
doesn't
good
do that
one.
you hate?
That's a good
like toilet cleaning, laundry.
Oh,
You
no, we
have-
have most of them split up.
You will have to handle Mako's litter box for an entire month.
A month?
Okay, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. I'll do 2 weeks. I don't do cat
That
litter.
cat shits a lot.
He does a lot.
He is a frequent shitter. He has a very active digestive system.
Okay, I'll take it. And if you lose, you have to do laundry for 2 weeks.
Didn't you tell me yesterday never do laundry again?
Because you just leave it in the dryer and it drives me crazy because I don't know it's sitting in there.
All right, I'll do laundry for 2 weeks.
You have to, including folding and putting away.
Oh Jesus, that's
Including-
so much worse than the litter box.
Folding and putting
Wow,
away. So it is
that's
written,
rough.
so it is done.
Okay, let's move on here to the next bet. Her next bet is Yakuza. Wow. Yakuza Fiance will be shredded by the podcast hosts and not surpass a score of a 3 out of 5. That's a tough one.
I think that's likely going to happen, so I'm going to pass. I could see that happening.
Twitch, my cat hasn't done. My wife hasn't done the cat litter in over 10 years.
I don't do the cat litter ever.
Oh my goodness.
No way!
It's brutal. Rips, F's in the chat. F's in the chat.
You know, it's interesting because I haven't kept up with Yakuza Fiance. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but does it get worse? I know Emery has been watching it, and the fact that
God.
Are you going to be on with Otaku?
I'm not going to be on. No, I'm not.
Nobody's
because
on right now.
I will probably
yeah,
hop on it.
It did not align with my schedule, but
if
I will tell you, I loved it, but I love trash sometimes.
Yeah,
Man.
that's the thing. If it was like me, Lady Emery, and Otaku on the episode, I think it gets a little
would soar.
I think it gets at least a 3.5. If the show keeps up what it did in the first 2 episodes for the whole show, easily an easy 3.5. But if it's just Otaku and like Mason on the episode, that show is getting like a 2, and that's because Mason will give it a 1.
I thought it was decent.
5.
I thought it was decent. God,
Yeah.
how did I whiff on not doing a Behi Neko bet? I mean, I really want to know if that cat takes it to that elf girl. I'm gonna finish that anime. I have it. I guarantee I'll finish it. I hope it happens. I really hope it does.
All right,
It's not gonna happen. They don't have the balls to have a cat tiger rail an elf girl live on TV. It cannot happen.
I guess that one will have to go to the Discord.
Okay. The last bet from Pancake. Mitz will pass another isekai for spring that does not pass Andrew's test. Wow.
His isekai test.
Well, I am going to pick the ecchi again because by God, someone has to.
And by pass, like,
Okay.
it's not like a group pass. It's he passes a show during the...
No, it's Andrew's isekai test with the females.
Okay. So just for reiteration, Andrew's misogyny test when it comes to picking isekai. If the poster is one guy surrounded by only women, and it is an isekai, that show is going to be bad. It has not failed me yet, and shows that have subverted this are either fantasy shows that aren't isekai but it's hard to distinguish it by the poster. And shows that sometimes, and shows that usually tend to pass, have usually at least one dude or one anthropomorphic animal that isn't female coded. So those tend to pass the shows as well. So yes, that is my isekai test. So yes,
I got to say.
it is a fairly easy test to follow.
We'll see because there are, according to my anime list, almost no isekai coming out next season.
You have ecchi also ticked, though.
Oh, you're right, I do. It's still only 2 of them, and one of them is the AI show.
Sure, there's actually surprisingly few isekais this year.
There's only one
So far.
ecchi next season, which is very disappointing.
Ah.
Wow, what a lame ass fucking season.
In hearing that, does that mean that if there's no isekais, like, is that our push? Is that
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
okay? I will take you on this, and I will read whatever book this time. I'll do a
She
book.
wants blood.
A book. Okay.
Yes. And I know what book you have in mind. I will read it. For those who don't know, we talked about it, I think, 2 maybe Hobby Addicts ago, but there's a book that Pancake has told me about that is quite horrifying, and I will read
Oh,
it.
is it that?
Oh,
is it
Tender
that-
of the Flesh.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh. I will read
Okay.
Tender of the Flesh for you.
Why do you always suggest like these horrible things?
Because those are what I like to read.
Why they're masturbating in the girls' bathroom or eating people. It's like crazy. What the fuck? That's
know.
Pancake.
Oh, that's just Pancake. And then I'll read a book of your choice.
Okay.
All right. Now for Emery's bets.
Yep.
the-
Give
for
me
the-
just a second.
Okay. Go ahead. You can read your own if you like.
No, you're fine. For the long shot, I think we will get a new Hunter x Hunter chapter within the next 6 months.
Oh my god.
A new chapter. Nothing too
chapter.
extreme. Just a chapter, and I do have a book or series. Like, I put options because I was having trouble coming up with ideas on the fly last time, so I put things under there.
What
But
was
if you
the
think of a
last
better one.
chapter released? Because I know
He's
one was
thinking about
released
it.
not too long ago.
He's
Can we
percolating.
do
Uh-oh. He's looking spicy.
Hunter, last chapter release.
Yes, because I feel like one was released not too long ago.
December 9th of 2024.
Okay, so he released one
Last
less
year.
than 6 months ago at the end of December.
Man.
I feel like this is
That's
a
all.
Right?
50-50. Are there any
Ooh.
other idle games coming out? Because he's also known to be an idle
Jesus.
peruser.
I thought it was because he had like severe back problems.
No, that's just a lie he makes up. It's obviously to do other things. Like,
He's
that's
like-
just a lie he makes. No.
Oh
He
my-
is delaying
Oh.
Hunter x Hunter because he is married to another famous mangaka and they made a lot of money and he can afford to not break his back if possible.
If you want to
know
think
what?
on this, I can go
I'll
over my
take-
other
I'll-
ones. You'll take it? Okay.
I'll take it for
Hell
the fun
yeah.
of it
Get in there, boy.
All right.
And I will make you read. The first.
He's thinking about it. He's reaching for it, pulling it up. He's looking. Handsome in his Pokemon shirt. Thinking about it.
I will make you read the first 3 volumes of Whistle, one of my favorite manga.
Oh, Whistle, the
Ooh.
soccer.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice. Whistle's pretty good.
Okay.
Whistle's pretty good.
That's a good one.
That was unpredictable.
And if I win,
I didn't know you were a Whistle fan.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't know. The anime is quite good. The anime was quite good.
I've read the manga a bunch of times. I've watched the anime a couple of times. I fucking love. I think it's one of the best soccer series
I think you're right.
put out there.
have you read Lore Olympus?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Perfect.
Oh,
We're
you'll
gonna
get
have
educated.
you read. We're gonna have you read, and I'll try and find the chapters. But Lore Olympus on Webtoon.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
Maybe do like the first
Yeah,
volume.
be busy. That's long as fuck.
That's what I was thinking because the volumes are thick for that one. It's
Okay.
a thick one. Okay,
All right, next bet.
next one.
Mhm. We're almost done here, people listening. Okay, she's unfurling it. What the fuck? How do you even pronounce
Yep.
that shit?
Great question. I don't know, so I'm just gonna say the first name.
Zolo Mariduena.
Thank you.
Duena.
Zola Monduena will
Something
be
like that.
revealed to be Ace Podcast for the live action One Piece. If there's no announcement in 6 months, this bet is void.
Don't care about One Piece, so I'm
Okay.
going to step aside.
Because they just finished season 2.
They just finished season 2. They've announced a lot of characters around Ace, but they will not release who Ace is. There is a rumor going around that he will be Ace. So, for those who don't know, Ace is my number one husbando. He's the best. Yes, he's great.
Wow.
So,
what is going on with anime?
I'll let you guys think on that. And my easy shot is I think Creepy Nuts will have at least 2 more anime openings for us. I said this year, but we'll just say within the 6 months. And it doesn't have to be good. They will be good because it's Creepy Nuts. But they've been releasing some banger OP, so I just
We
went
really
with that.
have.
I'll take that bet. I think that they won't. And I'll be happy to trade you a doujin / hentai.
Awesome.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Easy
I've already-
peasy,
Whatever
right?
whatever. If it's a hentai you want me to watch, sorry, I've already seen it. So
Probably.
yeah. Yeah. I'm after doing over 200 hentai episodes, I'm pretty confident I've seen at least 400 hentai.
Makes
I
sense.
believe that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I'm so fucked up.
So I will make sure to get all of this onto our Discord. Please go to our Discord. There are some open bets we have going on, and we'll go
Well,
from
I have a
there.
question. So if people
Yeah.
want to still take, like, even though there are bets between us hosts, people can take on any of these bets if they want to on a personal
You know
level.
what?
Absolutely.
If I'm not
They-
mistaken, right?
Yes, they can. Yep, they absolutely can. They can join up if you'd like.
You might not be able to do the thing like, trading trips here, but, you can still take it to some sort of level that would be, fun for all. So do
I just
check out.
wanted- I just wanted an excuse to see you, though.
It's okay. I appreciate it. I didn't need an excuse, but it's nice to have.
You don't have any before we go, Andrew? No bets you want to throw out there?
Nah, mine would probably be mecha related, or Gundam related, but I don't have any. I'm not that kind of person. I just sort of like to partake. So who's
right.
reading the trivia question?
I think we'll have Pancake read it.
In Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Sakuna's parents are gods. Her mother is the harvest goddess. What is her father the god of? We'll be right back with that answer after this news break.
Hey anime fans, Mitsugi is here and I'm bringing you your anime news as always, starting with a web manga, Kini Natteru Hito ga Otoko Janakata, otherwise titled as The Guy She Was Interested in Wasn't a Guy at All. The web manga will be made into an anime, this being done by Sumiko Arai. Started airing back in April of 2022 and has 950,000 copies in print cumulatively. It's about a girl who has a crush on Aya Osawa, a boy that is apparently perfect, very nonchalant, sharp with style, quick-witted, listens to great music. But the classmates of the girl have to wonder how they will come around to telling her that the crush that she has isn't actually a guy at all, but is in fact a girl. So you'll have to see how this girl's love property pans out when the anime Kini Natteru Hito ga Otoko Janakata comes out later on, I assume this year. Next up, Crunchyroll finally confirms that Solo Leveling is the most watched new anime of 2024 over popular other candidates such as Don Kaiji Number 8, Windbreaker, Freiren, and more. It looks like this report came out in a newsletter sent to the media confirming what many of us already pretty much knew about the series' massive global reach, and Crunchyroll has confirmed that this is indeed the case. So data from Parrot Analytics also supports that Solo Leveling's anime's success globally. It was nominated for, I guess, the most popular anime globally, along with titans like My Hero Academia, for the most in-demand anime of 2024, but ultimately lost this category out to, you guessed it, One Piece. But it did apparently beat out properties such as The Apothecary Diaries, Don, and Freiren, which did receive praise in the awards, but did not come out on top. Next up, we have some more popularity stuff going on here. Demon Slayer's anime misses the #1 spot in new official streaming rankings. So a major streaming service recently published its yearly anime rankings based on viewership data from 2024, which is described as, quote, the Netflix of Japan, that being ABEMA, which is the media streaming service. And it looks like they have revealed that Oshinoko Season 2 indeed did win first place for the most streamed anime of 2024 on that service. And other popular titles also were in the running, which did include Demon Slayer, Apothecary Diaries, and others. But it looks like nothing, at least in Japan, can top Oshinoko. And lastly, new anime announcements to wrap up the news break. It looks like the second season of Sentai Daishikaku, or Go-Go Loser Ranger, has been announced, so this property will be getting a second season. It looks like it's scheduled to premiere on April 13th, so you won't have to wait very long. It'll be on the CBC and TBS Agura anime time slot in Japan, but most of you don't really care about that because I'm sure you don't live in Japan. The anime adapts Negi Haruba's action sci-fi manga, which began in Shonen Magazine in February of 2021, and Kodansha shipped the 17th volume on January 17th. So if you are a fan of Go-Go Loser Ranger, second season's coming, and you won't even have to wait long for it. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, as of course, time to get back to the podcast. Anime Addicts, as you know, this podcast recently became independently funded, and we are attempting to continue on funding this podcast with the help of so many of our listeners without having to play annoying commercials for underwear and razors and cat food and all kinds of other things that bore you and make your listening experience not quite what it could be. And if you go over to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join, you can sign up. You can also do so on Patreon. And when you do, you'll get our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties. 8 total episodes of our podcast per month, just for you, just for saying a little thank you for supporting the podcast, because we do appreciate it so much. You can also go to our website, AAAPodcast.com, simply across the top and click the donate button. If you don't really want to sign up, you can just throw us a couple bucks, help us out. And if you don't have any money to throw our way, hey, we still love you. We hope you keep listening. We appreciate all of our listeners, and we love doing this podcast for you so much, as we have for over 11 years now. So hopefully we'll have another 11 years to come. I love you all so much. Again, if you want to help out the podcast, you can go to AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
It's a rough life with Chi-Chi, okay? I'm actually going to put this one on Goku mostly. I mean, Goku, he's never there. Chi-Chi she's getting lonely, all in that little tiny house that's in the middle of nowhere. There's no neighbors. She's getting lonely. Suddenly, like, the mailman's starting to look good. She's like, the mailman. The mailman came by. I'm all alone. The pool boy, he's looking good. And to make matters worse, Gohan and Goten absolutely take after Goku. Like, they look exactly like Goku. They don't look like Chi-Chi at all.
His seed is so strong. He's so alien that it just takes over.
They look like Goku. They fight. All they want to do is fight. They're always wearing orange. Pretty soon she's got like PTSD. She's all like, oh my god, orange. She hates Halloween. She's just oh my god. And before you know it, it's like Goku comes home. He hasn't been home in like 5 years. He comes home. She's not there, and there's just like divorce papers on the table.
Damn it, if only I could read, I would know what these papers mean.
He can't read it. He's got to go ask Piccolo. He's like, oh, Goku, this is not good. Korin like comes down. He's like, Goku, you can always live on Korin's lookout. With Yajirobe, that's when you know you've hit rock bottom. You're like hanging out with Yajirobe. Welcome back to the podcast. In Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Sakuna's parents are gods. Her mother is the harvest goddess, and her father is the god of what?
War.
Yes, indeed. It is Kratos.
I gotta say, I love Mason's laugh. I just think it's so cute. It's my favorite. So, Mason, if you're out there.
It's a little butthead-like. I like that.
I just love it. I just love Mason. He's so great. I miss him.
Mason, where are you? All right. Okay, now as we do every week on this podcast, since seemingly half my life, it's time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
And if you want to be awesome and submit a mailbag for us, you can do so at www.AAAPodcast.com or not the www. Yeah, live your life. Enjoy it. Like Ranger Ramen did. Hey there, AAA host. Earlier this year, my wife and I traveled to Japan for the first time. It's safe to say that it's safe to say we fell in love with the country. I think we all get it. We've all been. We get it. If you could bring one aspect of Japan home with you, what would it be? Going for the low-hanging fruit, my wife and I would bring back konbinis and their delicious pre-made food. Raiding Family Mart, Lawson, and 7-Elevens was our favorite afternoon activity. Thanks for always keeping us entertained and making our anime addiction worse. So, Mitsugi, why don't you start us off?
Well, first I would say that the Famichiki is a new item of food at Family Mart, and we did try the Famichiki.
It was good.
And it's very fatty. It's like a breaded fried chicken thing. And usually fried chicken in Japan
They use thighs.
kind of sucks. But this was pretty good. It's still chicken thighs, but it was good. I'll also say that you left out Mini Stop because the crunky chicken at Mini Stop is a thing to behold. It is.
Oh, and their desserts. There was this mochi.
Here we go. Oh, gosh.
When we
Here
were there,
go.
there was this mochi that had whipped cream in it, strawberries, and a little piece of white cake on the inside. And I ate it 3 separate times while we were there. I went everywhere to look for it because they were having like a strawberry festival theme at the convenience stores, and it was amazing. So I agree with you there.
Okay, so for me, it's bathhouses. Like I already said on this episode, we hit 4 or 5 different bathhouses this time when we went to Japan, and I plan on hitting 4 or 5 bathhouses every time I go to Japan because I love being naked. But it's just bathhouses just don't see. Unlike the convenience stores, which we more or less have, we just the bathhouse culture just does not jive with American culture. It doesn't work. Bathhouses are almost extinct in the United States. They just don't have a good reputation generally. Like the one I go to in Denver has a terrible reputation for all sorts of shady and weird shit happening in it, and it's just unfortunate, but I would love to have like every city has 2 or 3 really nice bathhouses where everybody just behaves and, you know, acts like they're supposed to, and you don't have to pay $40 fucking dollars. I'm looking at you, Denver, to go sit in a sauna. So that's what I would say. That's what I would do. I mean, I'm literally going to have to build an onsen in my backyard, and I'm going to.
Sento. We're going to build an outdoor Sento in our backyard.
Yes. And then Andrew will come, and we'll sit in the hot tub. It'll be great. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. What about you, Pancake?
Mine would be transit. I hate cars. I hate being in cars. I hate being around cars. I hate sitting in them. I hate driving them. I hate traffic. I hate everything about it. So if I could, I would pick up trains and put them here and make us have a train system that worked just as well as one in Japan. But that would never happen because they'd probably end up like the ones in like the UK that are just hot, sweaty, and dirty. But anyway, that or like Mitz alluded to is bathhouses and bathhouse culture. I love being able to sit down and just like take my time and like get clean and relax. But sadly, here in American culture, if you're naked, it's automatically sexual. So the bathhouses here are sexualized, and if you go, you've got to keep your head on a swivel because there are creeps out there.
I have to keep my head on a swivel.
Especially men.
But don't the women behave themselves, don't they?
Most of the time. But
man, you're so lucky.
Yeah. If you're a man, you got to keep your head on a swivel extra, especially if you go on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. The one bathhouse in Denver, the guy told me the police come average twice a week. So that's pretty weird.
Yikes.
It's not good.
Yeah. So those 2 things would be my top 2, but then also convenience stores.
The transit, you're never getting that.
I know. We're just too large I think it's just too large, too much space, and we had set up all of our transit around the automobile industry way too early on.
That's right.
Yep.
So,
All right.
Andrew?
Andrew, here he comes.
So, I mean, you stole mine of transit, so I'm just going to do something different.
Oh, good pick.
I'm going to say arcade culture. I think that we need to bring back
Got him.
arcade culture, and it needs to be sort of like Japan. I want my round ones not to be just one massive place. I want it to be like 7 levels, each one dedicated to one type of game.
Yes.
I want them to be at least one in like every major city, maybe not just round one. Bring me the Sega one. Bring me all the. I want Japanese arcade culture. I want to walk in. I want to be able to play a claw game, go upstairs, play some metal games, maybe get myself into some not D&D, DDR on the rhythm game floor, maybe get my ass kicked at fighting games and never want to play them again. I just want arcade. Like, it's sort of happening, but they're also, but kind of here, they're all kind of like, they're not all the fun games.
It's
I
kitschy.
just want me to like,
It's kitschy
I want
here.
it to be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we have a main event by us in Knoxville, Andrew, and it's nowhere near as good as round one, but they do have a couple of those metal games, although they have the crappier ones. But I mean, all we do in America now is the ticket games. It's like,
I don't care about the
who
tickets.
gives a fuck about ticket games?
I would pay $20 a month to have a metal bank at an arcade like they have in Japan. I know it's free in Japan, but it's America, so I would never expect the banks to be free.
Literally anything to be free.
So if I had to pay a subscription to keep my metal bank open at an arcade, I would do that just so I could have metal games. I love them that much.
Okay. Emery, did you have one?
Awesome. Yes, I have a few, but convenience, obviously. I'm going to real quick touch on transit because, yes, I just want subways and trains here in general. Similar to Pancake, I don't like driving. I don't really love dealing with all the maintenance behind cars and things like that. I'm a passenger princess. So let me be a passenger princess in like a nice, clean subway where I can just read my book or listen to a podcast and just go. I just
get my steps. I want to walk to the station, get my steps in the morning, sit and go to my stop. Sunshine. Yeah. Like, there's a reason you and I have work from home jobs, and I think it's cars.
Absolutely. But yeah, Combini is obviously a big one. But mine that no one's touched on yet is the impeccable cleanliness. Yes. So, like, I love, and it's not everywhere. I understand that, like, I went to Tokyo with my husband 2 years ago. Nope, 2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
Thank you. Time, it's a flat circle. And we were getting up at the ass crack of dawn, and we were like, oh, let's just go get coffee across the way. And there was already a janitor out just sweeping, and I was just so impressed by the diligentness and just the cleanliness of that city.
Yeah,
I love it.
They really care about things, about their cities and their culture. So
and they take care of it. Yeah, it's just so nice. It's the only time it was really stinky was on trash day, and that makes sense. It's trash day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
you have anything else?
No. No?
The hot and cold beverages in the vending machines you have on
yes.
here.
So sorry, vending machines. I totally
vending
forgot.
machine culture.
Fuck
Bring back vending machines.
Bring back vending machines.
Just like on the corner, well maintained, well taken care of. We're keeping the cleanliness part. I want to get a hot beverage that's perfectly warm. That's not going to scald my mouth.
One more. Suica cards. I think we need Suica.
Yes.
Oh, they're so good.
How about milk tea? Just in general.
Milk tea. You and your milk tea. Man, you are like me.
If I could, I would inject it into my veins like heroin.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, this is your heroin.
Yeah.
Milk tea. Wow. There it is.
There it is. All right. Let's review this shit.
All right. So it's time for the review of Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, the fall 2024 joint, which I passed. And I will note that it's on Netflix. There you go. So Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is an anime that was derived from a video game. Sakuna is a god of war/harvest who lives in the lofty realm with a bunch of other gods, and one day she goofs up and accidentally lights the storehouse on fire, which houses a lot of important rice for the gods. and destroys a lot of rice while confronting some humans that manage to make their way into the realm. She gets banished by the head goddess, I guess, to a mostly uninhabited island and must cultivate the land and conquer the demons that live there. That was my handwritten synopsis. I said no more Mao synopsises. We're not going to read bullshit off Mao anymore.
Also, you can watch this on Crunchyroll as well. Just
Yes.
as a side.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, it says Netflix, but I watched it on Crunchyroll. I don't know what the fuck.
I watched it on Netflix. That's me.
Oh, I didn't even know it was
You
on
can watch
Netflix.
it on both Netflix and Crunchyroll.
At the same time.
Yeah, so it's done by PA Works, and like I said, it's based on a video game. So I will start with Andrew. What were your expectations going into Sakuna?
Yeah, so I basically looked it up. I'm watching this for the podcast, right? That's basically been what I've been saying for a bunch of these reviews, since these are now the ones I actually have somewhat control over going forward with impressions. But this is one I didn't. So I saw it based off a video game. Big oof, probably. I assumed it was a listener's pick, so I'm just like, okay, it's probably gonna be okay at best. I'm not going in with big expectations, but knowing it's a video game, yeah, and that's more or less where my expectations. Like, it's based off a video game. It's probably not going to be that great, I probably thought of it akin to something like the Devil Survivor video game ones or things like that, or even the Persona ones where I'm like, okay, probably might not be as good as the video game, but it has a source material that could work, but we'll see.
All right, how about Pancake? What do you got?
I had mid expectations. I figured it would just follow the game generally.
We platinumed this game.
Fine. You platinumed the game.
This game was
I played the game. You platinumed.
This game was a hilarious exhibition of husband and wife duties in the traditional household. Pancake is at home taking care of the garden.
I had no interest in the fighting in this game or like going out and doing like the missions. I just wanted to plant the rice and make the food
and take care of the house and the ducks and shit. And I'm out there like killing demons with a hoe, with like a rake, because that's what she fights with in the game.
like, I need more resources.
Bring me back some meat, daddy, or whatever the fuck. Oh yeah,
it was fun. But mid expectations for the anime. How about you, lady?
The lady.
I will admit, I was pretty worried when Mids passed this so quickly, because I was like, what on earth? I've never heard of this. And then I realized you guys played the game, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that said, I didn't have high expectations. I think the only video game to anime that I've found good was Castlevania. And that aside, most of them are just, they're fine. So I was going in probably low expectations for this one.
Isn't that such a shame, by the way, that we just can't seem to pull off video game to anime adaptations as a human race?
Yeah.
I mean, look, they haven't been able to do it for movies. I expect anime to take a bunch longer to figure it out as well.
I think the Persona 4 anime was pretty okay, as I recall.
I think, yes, Persona 4.
The Persona 5 one
yeah.
sucked, I think.
And the Persona 3 one was okay, but they were also just movies, so it makes sense. But I think Persona 4 is as close as they've gotten to a pretty solid anime adaptation from video games. That is like following the video games.
For me, I mean, I played this game. I platinumed it. I mean, it's a pretty good game, actually. You go on Metacritic, I just checked. It's got an 8.3 from the players. Pretty decent. It's a Switch game, primarily, but you can get it on PS4. So I think it's a pretty good game, but I had watched a bunch of it already before I binged it more or less yesterday, and I expected it to follow the game exactly because it had pretty much done that through the 4 episodes I had seen. It was pretty much cut for cut for the most part. It's kind of hard to do a cut for cut from a game because you can just wander around as a player and fuck off for like an hour and not do anything, but anyway, we'll go in the same order here. Andrew, would you recommend Sakuna of Rice and Ruin?
No, not particularly. It's as far as video game adaptations, it's not the worst one. It's even then I would say like story-wise it's pretty okay, and I think there's some really great moments in it actually that surprised me, but I don't think they do it anything so much that I feel that you need to watch this. I think a lot of what you would get out of this, you can get out of other anime and get a lot better, more evocation of feelings and probably better animation and probably better storytelling for the most part. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to say, go out there and watch it. Like, you just play the game, like I feel like most of us are going to say.
Let's see here. Pancake.
I wouldn't recommend it. I would say go play the game instead. It's not really doing too much. I mean, it's okay to look at most of the time, but just go play the game. It's more fun. It's more interactive.
Yeah, we'll talk about it being okay to look at in a second. Lady Emery.
Yeah, I feel like it's just made me much rather play the game. I think the avenue that it was supposed to be digested in is game mode. And yeah, we can talk about pacing and other things. The game, like you said, has good reviews. So personally for me, I have enough games on my plate right now, and I know now the plot beats, so I'm going to likely skip it unless somebody really comes out and says to go do it.
Yeah, so I do think the game is better than the anime. I think that in the game, the battles and farming are pretty good. It's quite a solid beat-em-up game / farming sim. And unfortunately, I think the anime tends to be a little slow and a little boring. That said, the anime is not terrible. I think that for me, the number one thing about this anime that I would say could be used in its defense is that it's a fairly unique anime compared to what we normally get. So if you didn't even know it was a game, and you picked it up, you're like, wow, how many anime are we fucking farming rice? I don't know. It's never happened, maybe. There's a lot of unique things in this anime that probably were in there because it wasn't made to be an anime. It was adapted. And so it's, has a lot of unique aspects that go beyond just high school failed romance rom-com crap, isekai power fantasy stuff,
Big titties,
big titty elf girls getting hammered by tabby cats and whatever. But honestly, I don't think that's enough to make it really recommendable. And sadly, I found myself quite bored by about episode 7. And we'll talk more about why in a minute in the spoiler section. But yeah, I don't think I could really recommend this. I think that it was better at the beginning, and I recall that the score on my anime list was higher than it ended. I think this one dropped quite a lot, actually. I think it was something like a 7.7 when I passed it on episode 3, and by the time it ended, now it's at a 6.7. So it really did drop quite a lot, and I think it's because the pacing just suffered in the middle a lot. So, okie day, and now it's time for spoilers.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
So, well, we could start with how it looks. There were some comments about that. I think this anime looks fairly dreadful. I think maybe not dreadful. The character designs are very bad. They definitely have a bit of Dr. Stone wide eye syndrome going on a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Look, Sakuna's eyes are just gonna slide right off. Like they look like greased pancakes is sliding off her face, and I don't think the animation's really all that good, to be honest. Especially for PA Works, which I feel like is usually pretty okay.
Yeah, I think it suffered in like the character design, but at times it was kind of nice to look at. Like the backgrounds and the color palettes kind of made up for it. And I actually really liked the line art at times. But I just don't think these game designs translated well to anime.
Yep, I agree. I'm looking at some of the images of what the video game looked like, and that's more appealing. It really only works in video game form because it would look quite alien if I were to try and translate to anime, but what PA Works decided to do it didn't really work for me for character designs. That said, yeah, I loved the backgrounds. Those were quite beautiful and well done. And I think there's a lot of attention to detail done for the historical time frame they were looking at sort of setting this in some of the mystical elements. And yeah, I think in particular my least favorite design, because it was distracting, was the character with the gear on her back.
Yeah, Sakuna's friend.
Yeah, Kokoroa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kokoroa, yeah.
I also just can't stand fucking Kaimaru.
The little baby.
I can't
The little
stand
baby?
Kaimaru. And I can't stand Talmon either. Like, I'm
Talmon, yeah.
bro, you are useless as fuck.
He's so useless.
You can't even carry shit to a hole.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
so, I mean, we're in spoilers, right? So
Oh,
the
yeah.
characters are quite inconsistent, obviously, right? Talmon is basically useless until he's not useless. And then he is still useless. Kaimaru is weirdly very useful and then becomes a magic baby.
And he's like almost the same size as like is he a
human?
baby? What are you?
Does he become magical in the game? I don't remember.
Yeah,
He
they all
does?
become gods in the game.
Oh, at the end? Oh, well. Yeah, all I remember was Kaimaru gets lost in the game and you spend like 3 hours trying to find his stupid ass. Ugh.
The baby drove me up a wall between the character design. The voice was irritating.
So one of the things I want to say about the show that I think is interesting, and I think which is interesting that Mitch said that it does offer something unique, and I say unique. It does offer something unique in that it is very not your typical character archetypes in a lot of ways, in some regards, for like the characters are together, and like, but I would say that by episode 3, if I did not know it was a video game, I would have felt something was off. Or episode 4, I would have felt something was off. Around episode 4, I went, oh yeah, no, this is definitely based off of a video game, because it very much feels like the characters are doing something and then there's an issue and then boom, it's taken care of. And it sort of gets hand waved, right? There's a lot of the pacing is still, it keeps up with the pacing a lot, just because it feels like each episode we kind of having an issue, we're going to fight something and then we kill it basically instantly. And that solves the problem essentially at the end of it.
You mean like when they're starving? When they're starving at the beginning because they don't have enough food, and then they
aren't starving,
and they're like, it's going to take 7 years to get enough rice to actually have a decent harvest, and then boom, problem. She's having a fucking fit and trying to evacuate the island, and then they yeah, I think that's what you were probably referring to early on.
And they're
just
dumb.
in general, like
the pacing, I feel is off because of it being a video game for sure.
And it feels like, at least with something like, and I'm going to bring Persona 4 here back into as a comparison point, which has a very similar pacing issue, especially early on, right? Meet new character, go into their heart, basically fix their heart, and they become who they truly were meant to be. And that's like the first bunch of episodes as you collect all the characters that were in the game, right? Because that's how the game was.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like there was more thematic resonance to whatever those resolutions were. Whereas this one's like, we're having a problem. And also, unrelatedly, this is a thing that's happening. I dealt with it. And I think it felt like until essentially the last arc, or like halfway through the show, it wasn't attempting to resolve. Like, it wasn't trying to combine whatever character resonance was happening to the greater threat until later on.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sounds crazy, but I did like a lot of, like, the good moments were pretty good. And I do want to say something nice, like Sakuna as a character, once you get past her annoyingness, there is some depth to her character. She isn't one note in some ways, right?
She grows. She evolves,
definitely
which
grows.
is good.
Although
If she didn't, that'd be a problem.
And she does in the game too. She definitely starts off being like,
unbearable,
basically a temper tantrum, like routinely, and she definitely ends up being. She grows into her shoes, I guess I would say, throughout the the course of it.
I will say the only two side characters I really enjoyed were Yue and what's his name? Kinta. Like those are the only two that I can like stand.
Oh.
Like I can't stand Mirth. Like she's like, why are you here? Like to cook some food and like just magically know how to make medicine.
Well, so everybody in the game has a role. Mirth cooks. Kinta or whatever is the blacksmith.
Yep.
The girl who I can't remember, the little girl who I can't remember her name. Yue, that's she's like a tailor. Kaimaru does nothing. Talmon does pretty much nothing. But in the game, you don't have to spend a lot of time with these characters. They just kind of a lot of the time they're just kind of merchants almost, or you can talk to them if you feel like it, but really you're just going to your place to like harvest the rice or whatever. In the anime, they're being used as like main characters with lots of dialogue and stuff, and these are just not really super great characters, probably because they were just meant to be like Kinta's just a fucking vendor basically who sells you weapons, and so
it's surprising you like those two. I thought they were kind of annoying because they're like, I'm not a fan of that sort of like relationship, sort of to some extent. He does get better as a character slightly, and Lady Emery, I know you're gonna want to get in here. I'm gonna let you get here in a second.
Oh no, you're fine.
I just want to say, like, my one main issue is with the fact that out of nowhere, in the middle of the show, they introduced the Visitors, this interdimensional organization of people who just sort of do things, and they
UFOs.
exist.
The UFOs, aliens.
Yeah, just cause, and then they are mentioned. But they literally have no bearing on the plot except for we turned her into
aliens.
Yeah,
yep.
Just cause. Like, and that's wild because I already like what is it? Not dissociated, but that thing you do, you know, like divorced, whatever. Like that cognitive
disassociate.
Dissonance of, not exactly, but like I can, Anyway, that thing you do where it's like, okay, there are gods in this world and there are humans that come into this world. I can buy into that. And that already makes sense. You know, I can like the cognitive dissonance of all of that. I've already gone past. And then for out of nowhere, it's like, oh, by the way, aliens. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Are we going to explore this more? No.
No.
What?
Nope.
Does that get explored in the game? Are there even aliens in the game? Did you ever find this out, or did they just add that in for nowhere?
I don't remember there being any aliens.
I don't remember the aliens at all. I was like, that's weird.
There's a whole lot more demons in the game.
There's a lot more demons, yeah.
A lot of demons.
And Ashigumo is in it a bit more in the game too.
Yeah, he's more prominent. Yep, for sure.
Otterman.
Yep, he's cool. I like him.
Thank
actually,
you.
He's a pretty good character. But
yeah, that was that whole thing with the aliens. I was like, why? We got gods and aliens now? Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the problem with the number one problem with the anime is not all bad, but the number one problem with it for me is that the pacing and the story suffer because they seemed rushed and slow all at the same time, which is kind of weird, but they're definitely trying to cram a 40-hour game into a 4-hour anime, but at the same time, they do it in a way that makes the anime very boring. So, to me, that's a problem.
I like the rice facts.
As a solid point, that's true too. But as a solid point where I think the pacing is actually perfect is in the death scene, quote unquote, of her dog assistant spirit, the sort of Hoshidama.
Way at the end.
Or Hoshidama. I think that episode is actually really properly paced. I think it actually evokes the proper emotional resonance that it has. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, and I know I keep bringing up my dead friend, but as someone who did lose someone not too long ago, like that, I understand. It sort of gives this understanding. Like I look back on it, maybe 6 months ago, or I guess it has been 6 months, maybe before my friend had passed away, I probably would have looked at this episode and be like, ugh, whatever. But I look at it with that context now added, and I'm like, that's actually a really like good episode. And it's really like they evoke all the proper emotions I think that should come out of such a thing, and I want to give it praise for that especially.
Yeah, and
that was probably one of my favorite moments of the show.
He's probably the second main character really of the game. I mean,
Yeah.
he's with you pretty much the whole time, even when you're fighting, and is a continual source of wisdom and just companionship. As a dog should be. So yeah, I mean and they definitely have that scene in the game as well. Where he it's sad in the game. So
It is sad.
I would say the music in this is pretty good. And I thought the music in the game was excellent as well. That's my opinion, but I thought the music in the game, in the anime, is quite good.
I was happy with this music. I wrote that down, that it was very good. The opening and ending were fine. They were just opening and ending songs. But yeah, anytime they were either trying to invoke certain feelings or shifting the scenes, whether it was to heaven or going back to this island of demons, I thought the music followed suit very, very well.
Except for the episode where they're singing while they're planting the
I
rice.
hate
that
that.
makes me want to tear my ears off. That was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So I liked
They do that in the
I did
game,
not
too.
Care for it. I did not care for it in the first time they did it, but in the death episode, right, I think it felt nice and emotional because you saw the resonance between him remembering when his original master did that and he first started singing along, and now his new master doing it, and that kind of resonance where he can sort of go along with it himself now that he's like the spirit animal
Right.
that exists.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's more of just a me thing. It's similar to people who have usually like a musical theater background who want to like randomly start singing their songs to me. And I'm like, okay. Like I just get like if the music is on in the background, it's fine. But when everyone just starts singing, I just get really
Oh no, me too. I'm like, whoa, this is really awkward. Like, do I need to leave? Can I run and jump off a cliff? Like, I don't know what to do here.
Yep.
But that's
like
probably
Happy
just because I
Birthday
don't have
as a song. Not my thing. Not my thing.
This is their Pokemon opening song. This is their Pokemon OP. Gotta catch them all. That's their catch them all.
I'm with
It's not
M.
as catchy.
With M, I don't even like Happy Birthday being sung to me. Like, it makes me want to like unzip my skin and throw myself into like.
It's a terrible
yeah,
song.
I just want to die.
I also don't think the action in this anime was very good.
No.
In the anime, the action is quite good. Or the game, the action is quite good. Not only is the beat 'em up action in the game good, but it's crunchy. You know what I mean? Like when you wind up and it's Smash Brothers like, where you wind up and you have that ball bat and you're waiting to hit somebody with a high percentage with that bat, and you know they're just gonna like explode and fly off the screen like a rocket. The game is like that, where they'll have all these little trash mobs. They're all around you, and you'll just wind up one of your good attacks and just fucking trash them. And it's just, it just feels real. It just feels good to hit them. And the game definitely has that like ribbon thing is very prominent. In the game, you can grab enemies and swing around them. You can swing off of objects. It's very used as like a parrying object and also something that makes you more maneuverable. And they tried to do that in this anime. There were some fights where she's kind of flying around the inside of like a room with her ribbon and whatnot, but I just don't think it wasn't featured very prominently. And the anime doesn't have the kinetic excitement that the game has. Maybe it's just because they couldn't animate it with the money they had or whatever, but I just didn't think for a game that was probably a better beat 'em up than it was a farming sim. I'm just gonna look at Pancake. It was probably an okay farming sim.
It was fine. It was interesting because in the game, the input, what you would collect when you were out, you put into your fertilizer and you could improve your crop. So like that was the whole thing. Yep. Like you actually like tilled the land and you actually planted the seeds and did the whole thing, and you actually like played with the water levels, and like the water actually got too hot or too cold, and you're doing all of these variables. So that was pretty interesting that you don't usually get in a farming sim.
But I think the fighting was better.
But I think the fighting was still probably better.
I just didn't get the same feeling from the anime's action that I got from the game. I don't know how you guys felt about the action, but I didn't think it was really impressive.
I don't think there was enough.
At times it felt very slideshowy a little bit. They did it too with the farming simulation, but just it felt too juddery, and I like smooth fighting. I do like things like solo leveling. I'm pretty big on like that
Looks
kind of
pretty
shonen
good.
enjoyment. So
Solo leveling looks pretty fucking good.
yeah, this wasn't my speed for the fighting. I could have done. I don't want to say I could have done without it. I just could have more effort could have been put into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and lead us off here. I don't have any more comments, really. I think the anime is really only good because of it's somewhat unique. And I don't really think there's much more to it. It's not all bad. I think it is serviceable. And I think that it could have been a lot worse. But ultimately, I think it's very mid. And I'm going to give it 2.5. Ducks floating around and the fucking eating the bugs out of your lily pad or whatever out of 5, out of your rice patty.
I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it. It was fine. I would not, like I said, not recommend it. Just go play the game. The game's, I think, more enjoyable, has better pacing, but it's not the worst ever. I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5 Kaimaru animals.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go next because same. I think we've said all there is to say, to be honest. So this is fine. If I had more time to game, I would maybe pick this one up. But I'm trying to get through Hades right now. So I'm going to give this
Good luck.
2.5 onigiri out of 5. So it's just an awkward half onigiri hanging out there.
Oh.
Still good though. I actually probably do have more to say, but also I think at the same time we've said more of what we need to. The show is different enough that I didn't hate it. It didn't grab me enough to want to feel the need to keep watching it as I binged it in this past thing as other shows have. But it wasn't so bad that it felt like I was slogging through to get through it. Bringing back to the question of the mailbag question, this is a very decent transit. I popped it on while I was on transit to my job, to and from my job some days, and I got through it fairly easily, but it's not one I was going to sit home and just watch and enjoy. But I think I enjoyed enough of it. I think it explored some of the relationships pretty decently well. Like we didn't talk about it much, but I think the relationship between Sakuna and Kokorora was pretty interesting as well. I thought she was going to be a worse character, but the fact that she slipped into darkness for even a moment and felt bad about it was still good to see about her character, because I've been Kokorora, watching somebody basically get by on just like not even their own laurels, but doing all the not optimal things and succeeding heavily when you're trying to do all that's right and failing or not doing as well. So I empathized a lot with that character as well. The show is also getting, for me, 2.5 visitors, plot lines plopped in out of nowhere, only to be ceremoniously dropped immediately after, just so we could introduce an element that I don't even think was part of the game, because why not? Out of 5. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Coco at all. I'm like, what the she just fucking like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna backstab you sort of, but oh, and then 10 seconds later it's like, this is my best friend. Like really? Like, I get Sakuna's
It was
kind
a
of
moment of weakness.
I mean,
It was.
Literally just a moment of weakness. That's, yeah, I got it. I get it.
I get it. Yeah, we've all had moments like that, I think. So
I will say this game is available on the on the Nintendo Store and on the PlayStation Store, both for $30. It's probably a good buy, actually. It's got a 4.4 out of 5 on the one in the Nintendo Store. Pretty good, probably a decent rating.
all right,
So,
guys.
Wow, was that a clean sweep of 2.5s?
Yep.
Nothing could be more mid than that. That is epic mid stuff right there.
Just tells you that we're all on the same wavelength. But thank you guys for tuning in. listening to us yap about Sakuna and making some more bets like degenerates. Head over to the Betting Degeneracy to get in on some of our bets. Make us do some things we might not want to do if you win.
Next week is our Anime Oscars. Usually a shorter show, but we will be announcing the winners of the Anime Oscars, so we'll figure out what you thought the best shows were from last year. So we have a bet riding on that too. So we'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to that. It's always a fun episode. Follow us on the socials. The Discord, AAADiscord.com. Come on in, baby. Play Path of Exile with me. I'll tell you all about Japanese bathhouses, Tell you some bedtime stories. And we're going to do a hentai episode now, so you got to support the podcast to get that. Sorry, but it's just too juicy for most of you.
Honestly, if you want to find out about Mitsugi's pee-pee, you might have to come on, listen to that. Just saying.
Yep.
Yes, very impressive. We'll see you next time on the podcast. Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.